Gaspari world. Here we are again. We are post-show season. A good year for me. Happy days. I posted up on Facebook the other day saying I was going to be doing my Gaspari blogs. And a couple, well, let's say a couple of about 30 questions. They're sort of split between training and nutrition questions. So I think in this video blog thing, I'm going to cover my opinions, not expert opinions, my opinions and my views on some of the nutrition questions that I've had. Right, let's start with this one. It seems to be quite a popular one, as it's had 14 likes, this question. Okay, off-season nutrition for pure lean gains. So I assume that means how can you stay as lean as possible whilst growing the most amount of muscle tissue possible. I think it goes back to looking at why people get out of shape in the first place. I think what it is overeating carbohydrates specifically. So you've got to then look at your I think the best way to do it is look at your carbs in terms of when are they needed, what are they needed for. And most people can see, and most people know that they are used primarily as an energy source and for glycogen replenishment. So common sense would tell me you put them in where they are going to be used the most effectively and the least amount of sort of overspill, if you will. So in my opinion, that would be around your training, which a lot of people call peri-workout nutrition. So let's say you've maxed out you've got your protein dialed and you know how many essential fats your body needs. So let's say you've got, say, a few hundred calories to play with of carbs. So you would put some in pre-workout to give your body plenty of energy during your training, and then I'd put in some glycofuse or Sizon or something like that intra-workout with your aminos, because that'll get used properly as well. I mean, there's a lot of, we'll go into this in a minute when I talk about intra and post-workout nutrition. And your post-workout meal, and then see how your body progresses from there, because that's really where pre, intra and post, that's where they're more needed than most. So I'd say intra and post more than pre, and then see how your body responds to that. So if the weight starts climbing up, but the mirror says you look good, stay where you are. When the weight stops climbing and you're staying where you are, then maybe build out or increase your carbs post, and then so you build away from your training with your carbohydrates, more into the post-workout before you go into the pre. So by doing that, you're sort of climatizing your body to more carbohydrates than what it would normally want. You're staying lean, you're giving it what it needs, and you're overfeeding it, and you're not giving it too many calories, you're not getting fat. So just keep an eye on your carb consumption and just sort of limit them to begin with around where they're going to be used most efficiently, and then, like I said, build your way out from there, increase them over time. This is how I do things with people. And again, it comes to the same with reverse dieting. If you're having 100 grams of carbs a day, like for the last 4 weeks, and then you suddenly put in 500 grams of carbs, I mean, you will get fat quite quickly, because your body is sort of always tries to reach that homeostasis where it tries to be level. It wants to make the most of what it's got. So you've just increased your carb consumption by 400%. So you're gonna, your body's gonna, whoa, I don't know what to do with this. So you're gonna get cankles and fat and stuff. So carbohydrates, I would say, are your best friend and can be your worst enemy. They should be used as efficiently as possible, and they should also match in with your training. So if you're very high volume, very, very high volume at 2 hour long sessions, which is fine, then I think your body's going to need slightly more than somebody who's super low volume, because it's obvious, because you're spending 20 minutes in the gym versus an hour and a half in the gym. It's just common sense to me. Right, so we've covered that one. Let's talk about some pre, intra and post supplementation. I'll just go into what I do and why I do it, rather than tell you guys what you should be doing, because everyone's very different. My pre-workout, I don't really have many supplements, but I eat, it's not a particularly big meal. I eat something very easy to eat pre-workout. Normally something like oats and isofusion, like a whey isolate for me, which is fine, just enough to sort of give me some food in me, so I'm not going with an empty stomach. In terms of my pre-workout supplements, I'm not a big pre-workout guy, and we're talking Super Pump, Super Drive here. I do like them when I feel they're needed. So if I need an extra boost, I'm training first thing in the morning, I'm a bit tired, or I'm in contest prep and I'm very tired, I'll use them to give me an extra boost. But that's down to you. So let's say I'll use Super Drive or Super Pump depending on how I'm feeling. I'll always make sure I have at least 2 litres of water with me before training. Okay, so my intra-workout, is always glycofusion aminolast. They're my staples. Creatine and glutamine I put in there as well, and I've also used Pepto Pro, which is your ditripeptide casein hydrolysates, which is great, and sometimes a little bit of citrulline malate in there. Okay, and I will use those, but I will start drinking that on my way to the gym. So say it's a half an hour drive, which was about a 15-minute drive, so I start sipping them on the way. So I'm getting all these nutrients into my body. So my warm-up sets will actually serve a purpose to actually deliver some of these nutrients. Start getting them flowing around the body a bit quicker. And again, going back to the carbohydrate, depending on the body part is how many carbs I put in. So if I'm doing a big leg day where I'm training up to an hour and a half, 2 hours of just constant pounding my legs, huge muscle group, it's going to need a lot more carbs than say arms. So maybe 100 to 125 grams of glycofusion on that day. Something smaller and less well needed, something like arms and calves, something like that. Probably going to use 25, maybe 50 grams of carbs in those days. Post-workout, depending on where I am in my off-season, I will just have just a whey isolate. I mean, my carbs have been covered by this point. I mean, sometimes I'm trying to push my weight up even further. I'll have some more glycofuse with my isofusion. Nice whey isolate, and then that's it. And then I'll get home and eat a meal. Something really, really basic for me. I'll just have something like steak and rice, steak and pasta, or chicken and rice, the basic just food. For me personally, I try to avoid vegetables in this meal. This could be bro science, what they call it, bro science, or science, or whatever. But I just feel if I eat vegetables with this meal, I get a bit sluggish. It doesn't sort of digest quick enough, and I'm a bit like. So I want that food in, do its job, and then we're done. Yeah, so that's my pre, intra, and post-workout nutrition. Intra-workout for me is probably the biggest. It's probably what I just 100% believe in them. I get literally no soreness anymore. Very minimal soreness. I can train until I'm going to nearly die. Sometimes I really try and push it. I really want to be sore. Let's see how far I can take things. Still not sore. So, does intra-workout nutrition build muscle? Probably not, but what it does do, it allows you to recover quicker. So if you can recover quicker, you can train the body part more often. And if you train the body part more often, increase the frequency, then in theory you should be able to grow. You should be able to create more sort of growth cycles per year than just training once a week. So I train every body part twice every 10 days, and that's working really well for me. And it's allowing me to train. I can train up to about six days a week now. And that's just purely because I can. In the past I never could, and my only difference is, apart from time in the gym under my belt, is the intra-workout nutrition. It really allows me to just last longer in the week. So normally I'll train 4 days and I'll be absolutely battered, sore as anything. But now I can push through that and add an extra 2 or 3 days in if I need it, and it's great, and it really does work. So I've got a couple of questions there. What we got? Oh, here we go. I like this one. Keeping food clean but tasty. I'm no Jamie Oliver, but I have got some little things that I like to do. I think the best thing in the world, which I couldn't wait for after the contests were over, is just chili. Just mince meat with some chili con carne powder, some kidney beans, and some chopped peppers in there. Boil in a slow cooker overnight. That's it. We're done. We are done. That is it. That's how simple this is. Chuck in a tin of tomatoes in there or some pasta sauce to flavour it up, and that's simply it. And then you just portion it out into your rice, into your pasta, into your wholemeal wraps, whatever you want. That is done. It tastes amazing. It's really moist. There's a lot of flavour. And you're getting a good amount of red meat in. But I always go for the extra lean mince. Perfect. And again, chicken. I personally use the gold standard nutrition steamed chicken breasts, which is just the most convenient thing in the world. But I mean, that doesn't just they're plain, they're already cooked. But what I do a lot of the time is I will measure my portion out, and I'll just pop it in the pan with some red onions and some fajita seasoning, just for like 5 minutes. Do that, clean the pan out, and add that to my rice. And again, that adds such a huge amount of flavour. Another really easy one is 0% Greek yogurt with whey isolate and some cashew butter or almond butter. That is the best little meal ever. So if you've got a sweet tooth and you love your ice cream, try that one because that's good. So they're the three sort of main little tricks and things. I'm I'm no gourmet chef. Another good one, just came to mind, is making your own burgers. Just get a couple of nice wholemeal buns, some low-fat cheese, you got your salad in there, just make a couple of patties, pop them in to cook them, put them in your burger, and then in. Done. As long as I think the thing is, if you measure your food and the sugar and fat content isn't over what it should be, it's not like overboard, then I think you can really get away with whatever you want. You just got to be smart. There's no reason you couldn't make spaghetti bolognese, for example. You could just get some nice pasta, weigh out the amount of carbs you need for that meal. You weigh out the amount of pasta you need to match the carb content of that meal, and you get the right amount of mince for that meal. Cook your spaghetti, cook your mince, add in your bolognese sauces or your... So they're not too bad in sugar. You can make them yourself. Tin tomatoes, some bolognese seasonings, chop in some peppers and that, cook that, and then add it together. Spaghetti bolognese, if it fits your macros, which I don't believe in, but it does. So yeah, just be savvy with it. Again, if you want to go out and eat, there's always. Let's take McDonald's or let's take Subway for example. If there are Subways everywhere. If you need a zero carb diet, if you want to really super low carbs, just get something really simple like the salad with double chicken breast, and you've got a double chicken breast salad. There's nothing wrong with that. The salt might be a little bit higher than you want, but who cares? It's just a bit of sodium. So yeah, even I think Burger King as well, you get chicken breast salads. I know they're not the best, but it's better than nothing on the go. So okay, here's a good one. It's from my good man Drew Walker. Lean gains versus dirty gains, pros and cons. I assume that means eating well or being a fat fuck. I've done both. Okay, lean gains, you will not be as heavy and your food will not be as enjoyable, but it makes dieting easier, you feel better, and you look better and healthier. Dirty gains is brilliant because you get to eat burgers and chips and it's just amazing. You eat whatever you want, just pound in the calories and get really strong and fat and happy. But then it's really hard to get in shape, and then you have to suffer way more. Look, if you're quite fat and you sort of have that mentality, but the fat will come off anyway. When you're mid prep and you're already super low carb and you're killing yourself so far out from the show because you're fat, at that point I guarantee you will regret all the shit you ate. So I think a good combination of the two is where I would lay it. So, be very clean with your diet 90% of the time, a couple of cheat meals a week. Keep an eye on your body fat. If it creeps up, you can either drop the shitty food out or just add in some more cardio or an extra day of training. But, it's about being healthy, staying healthy with it, not being a fat fucker, really. Just keeping it sensible. But if you use some of my dishes that I've just given out to the world, the secret dishes, and you shouldn't need all this shit anyway. So I think that's it really. I think I've covered a lot of questions. I've got a lot. My next video will cover a lot of training, and I find training to be a little bit more interesting than food, which is funny because I am fat. So, but yeah, a lot of these questions are sort of the same sort of thing. I've got another one here saying lean versus dirty gains and nutrient carb timing. They're all interconnected. Like we talked about at the beginning, if you want to stay lean, keep your carbohydrates where they're needed and build them out from there based on how you're looking. Do you want to eat clean or dirty? Mix it up a little bit. Treat yourself if you're in the off season. And yeah, meal timing. I believe protein should be the same in pretty much all meals. You work out how many, you say you have X amount of protein a day, just divide that by how many meals you're eating, and that's how much protein you should have in each meal. In my opinion, just keep it nice and steady. And then your carbohydrates they should be put in where needed. And then again with your fats, where they're going to be needed. I normally don't put fats in with my carb meals anymore. There's probably no real reason for it apart from I notice I stay leaner. That's the only reason. I'm not sure why. So yeah, it's meal timing is to me is just where you put your carbohydrates and your fats. If you're training really late at night, yes, you're still going to need your post-workout carbs. If you're training first thing in the morning, yes, you're still going to need post-workout carbs. It's just depending on your schedule and when your training is and where you put your carbs. So that's for people who want to stay leaner. If you're lucky enough to be able to eat carbs at every meal all day and stay lean, so that's fine for you. The nutrient time doesn't occur to you anyway. that apply to you? Sorry. Yeah, so I think I've covered pretty much it. I mean, most of these questions have been answered within the other questions. But yeah, anything you guys want to ask me in the next one, fire away. But I mean, my next one will be the training talk. So we'll talk about bringing up weak body parts, training frequency, how to optimize a workout, and how to do all of those three in the same workout. So yeah, that's what we'll talk about next time. Way more interesting. Food's great. I'm going to go eat now because I'm going to go train. So just remember, guys, I don't have a catchphrase. Just remember. Alright, well, I'll put this up now, get it uploaded, and then this time next week, we'll talk about the cool stuff, which is training, which is way more interesting than food, even though we're all fat guys, right? We're all fat, right? It's not just me. So, take it easy, and I will see you next week.